I spoke with my local tax collector, which I know, mistake number one. But I spoke with my local tax collector and was asking her for a copy of a document that we needed. And then I thought to ask, what things do you tax on properties? Because we are about to build a shed, and I just want to know, what things will we be having to pay tax on? Is it just a house? Is it a bathhouse? Is it a shed? Is it a greenhouse? What? And I was shocked. I am flabbergasted. I'm not often flabbergasted. And you know what? We always talk about governmental overreach. We know that. And I'm still surprised by what I learned. In my area, they tax cows. Cows, like moo cows, cows and horses. And she said, any income generating thing. They also will increase your property tax if you have a paved road. It's based on the square footage of your home. It would be a shed, four-wheeler, trailer, anything and everything. They tax the personal property, like that trailer and four-wheeler and all that stuff. They tax all that, boats, all that. Then they tax the property itself based on the value that they deem it to have. Value is increased by all those other things I talked about. Paved road, fencing, anything that is an improvement on your property. Do my fruit trees count as improving a property? Well, the fact that we cleared a bunch of area to have an orchard, does our garden count as property improvement that we're gonna therefore get taxed on? Now, I do understand that the people here who have cows generally have them to sell for meat. So it's a big operation and they sell to slaughterhouses, and that's how they have an income. The key word here that I am latching onto is income generating, or key phrase I should say, income generating. Because when we get a cow or two or three, they will not be income generating. We were talking about how they're gonna be our pets. I will go as low as to register my cow as an emotional support animal if I need to. One day when we get a cow, our cow will not be income generating. But then that leads to a whole other rabbit hole. What about my friends who have German Shepherds that they breed and sell to puppies? That's income generating. You're gonna tax dogs now, their family pet? What about our sheep? I asked about livestock too, like sheep and goats, and she said she didn't know and referred me to another website. And honestly, even though I did some looking, I could not find my county on that website. And so, okay, I know all I need to know. My sheep could possibly be taxed. What about chickens? My neighbor's son sells chicks. Are you gonna tax his chickens too? Where does this end? What if I sold goods out of my garden? Does my garden then get considered income generating and is therefore taxed? And then after that, you take, okay, I'm taxed on the income generating cow, whatever, or horse. Then I get taxed on the income that thing generates. Then I get taxed on when I go to spend the money generated from the thing that I have to pay taxes on. And you're taxed over and over and over and over again. And I knew that there was governmental overreach, but I didn't know, at least in my area, that it went this far. I mean, something's kind of weird already, because on my tax paper, we have a timber tax. A timber tax. I have to pay for the trees that are on my property every year? What on earth? Do I have to pay for the dirt too? I mean, technically that's literally what property tax is. You're paying to have dirt every year. It's a subscription. I have a subscription to living on my own land. So at this point, I wouldn't put it past the government to consider my fruit trees as property improving and therefore increase the value. So now I'm left wondering, okay, how big of a house do we really want? Because the bigger the square footage, the more you're taxed. How nice do we want it to look? How improved do we actually make the property? At least I have some kind of a forewarned is forearmed situation going on here. But oh my gosh, I never would have thought this area would have that. If you want to be forewarned and forearmed, maybe talk to your local tax collector. And I'm sorry to have to bring you somewhat upsetting news today, but in this country, I'm wondering if pretty soon we're gonna have to be throwing some tea in the harbor again.